everybody. Taking the backhoe to work this morning. We got a little project just up the road. We got a little sidewalk we're gonna rip out, compact the subgrade, and try to bore it today. All right, guys, we're on site. Let me show you what we got. So we're just filling in this quick job just because we got the footings going on that other job, and we'll have a couple days off. We'll do this and another one. Sidewalk, you can see pitching, everything's pitching this way, so they're going to redo the driveway. We're going to put this back the way it should be. Same scenario, just a square, no flares, no nothing. Square basic sidewalk. Look at the step they had. Crazy what people get away with. So 16-inch front step, they were using a block to go in and out. Unacceptable. But obviously this settled too. It probably was somewhat close, but probably not actually. Still had a 10-inch step even when they poured. I don't know how it passed code, but what we're gonna do is rip this out this morning, put sub base in, bring it up to the elevation, form it up same fashion, go as wide as the transom on the door for the step and the sidewalk in this area. Stay tuned. We are going to saw cut the blacktop here just so we don't disturb too much ripping it out. Today's equipment is rusty musty. Love old Betsy. She's a heavy duty little paint and she'll be back in perfect shape, and tires. But yeah, that's a 10,000-pound rig. That thing's 110 horsepower. What a beast. What a beast. All right, here we go. These slabs look pretty thick. We had a double saw cut on this right here. Go ahead, lift up. You got it. We had to put an expansion cut there because it was under the... Yeah, they just made that a little thicker on that side. Watch that tree. There you go. Get her out. There she is. Lower it down.
Should we turn them that way?
We're getting thicker as we go back. Unbelievable. The concrete was its own worst enemy. That's 8 inches thick, some 9 inches thick. That's why, you know, you pour sidewalks 4 inches. Nice and easy, nice and easy. A lot of weight for baby girl. Right there, let her slide in. Yo, backhoe's gonna be doing an endo. You're good, you're in. Oh man, that's some weight there, boy. Yee-hoo! Get her done. Oh yeah, got Miko following us down and with the last piece. Headed on back. All right, heading back up the long haul with Crusher Run. We got Miko with the crusher run. That should do it for crusher run, hopefully. If not, I'll have to grab another one. All right, boys, we got the crusher run on site. We just shaping the sub base up. They had sand here for backfill. Cut the sod back a little bit. We will retamp this whole sub base and then put in our crusher run and tamp that all the height and then start throwing in forms. We have concrete coming this afternoon, so this is a hustle bustle. All right, sub base all tamped. We got our footing boards going in. We use 2x4s. The step will be a 2x8, which is 7.5 to 7 3/4. Heading to grab that wood now. All right, we got the forms going in so nicely. This is the face of our step. Always cut it at a 45 here. It will help you finish under it, the concrete, and you'll see that as we install it, but always cut the faces at 45. So we got the step getting formed up. Concrete's on its way. See that 45 I was talking about right there on the bottom? That allows us to take this trowel, this float, and go right tight. If the board was out here, we'd only be able to go, we'd only be able to go to here, but now we could go into here and do a finish. And then when we strip this, we'll only have a little bit of line in the concrete instead of 1.5 inch line in the concrete. Just a little pro tip. All right, forms are all set. We're just fine tuning the grade. We put crusher inside this step, and that's not only to save concrete, but the main purpose of that is to save weight, because we don't want this huge step, you know, gravity frost heaves up and down, you know, the freeze thaw cycles every winter up and down with this slab, and then gravity set takes place like it did on the last slab, and it could actually hurt it and put a crack right here. That's why we're going to put an expansion joint there. But yeah, so it acts like an elastic slab. It will actually come up around, and there's our line here, and we'll be floating to finish that. So just keep that in mind. Concrete could hurt itself if it's too thick. All right, concrete's here. We got our wire in. It's just after lunchtime, and got the wire up in here like a nice little crab cage going. All right, watch how it's done. See that bottom? How I'm getting it? It lets the board would be here. I'm out under that board right to the other concrete by making it a 45. Then when we strip it, we'll just have a little line there and fix it. But this is what we're doing, just getting it in. Nice to take our time, tap your boards, pour it out a little stiffer up there, work our way right out, screed it. We're using a level of screed because we do not have an extra piece of 2x4, but whatever, it works. All right, we're gonna get this in and I'll check back as soon as we get to the first phase of tooling. All right, we're back. We just had enough cement. I'm talking a teaspoon. And we scraped all the chutes and got it. So this is the rough hit. It's all in, screeded off. We're gonna bull float it now. First thing you do on all your edges always is knock your stones down. That's the first thing you wanna do, because you try to get this edger in 40 minutes from now, you're not gonna. You'll hit rocks. So this knocks your stones down on your edging. And then you do this on the whole sidewalk. Then you take your float and float that line back out, and you fill your edge with cream like this. So then that's got nice cream. So the next time we do a finish edge on it, it's good to go. But if your stones are there, you'll get hung up. So just do that on the whole thing. And then we also put our divider marks every 5 foot, or ever how it lays out, which is another tool that I'll show you in a bit. And that's your actual divider marks are like expansion. So when the frost heaves go up and down, you get the cracks in those lines and you never see them, and it all stays good. Check back in a bit. All right, so we're just roughing in the other tooling, which is a divider, just like this. They go about every 4 foot 8 inches to make 4 of them equally, and you just rough them in. You're just knocking down the stones like so. So we put a square on a, you could use a 2x4 or whatever, just so we know we're square and straight coming across. You see, it's just an ugly deal when the first hit. You're not trying to make it look pretty. All you're trying to do is get them stones down. Because if you ever get a rock in there after, you can't get a finish on it. So we're getting the stones down. Then once we take this off, we float everything back in with the float, and then go to the next phase, which you'll see in a bit. But we're gonna do the rest of the dividers all the way down through here, every 4 foot 8 inches. All right, here's one flag complete. See the edging, the swirly float, and I'll show you how we did that. That divider's not done, that's the last step. But first things first, let's see if you can see. Here. Take your float, knock it all down, make sure it all hits. Just like so. Use your edges, make sure the whole thing hits, go across each divider like so. Don't fill it in, but make sure it's flat. See how it ain't hitting there? So you want to take a little flat like this, put it in there, cover that up. So now we just swirly float like this till it all matches like so. So you could even take some fat there. We got to get it in there and then cover that back up. But so a whole swirly float like this, and this is what's called a swirly float pattern. So through the whole flag, you want to do each flag like so, and then when you get to the edge, you want to dress this edge up just like that. So you want to come here, hold pressure on this outside first, your first hit, and then it doesn't touch there, but then you finish by touching the outside like that. It's nice, slicked off, just like that. Then for these dividers, we use that other tool and we slick those off. So we'll show you that in a bit. All right, this is how you use the divider. Just run this back in your same track. And as you can see, it's hard to go down in now. If there was rocks in there, from not cutting it, it'd be in real trouble. So you just follow in. He gets half, I get the other half, like so. Then you take your edger again, and you cut this in. You just miter it, so it takes those ridges out. Just like so. Bada boom, bada bang. That part's all done. And we got a little edging to do there, and over by the stair. Be with you at the finish. All right, guys, here's the finish. She's looking all pretty and nice. Everything's finished nicely around them stairs. All those edge marks, everything's mitered in. So nice. Let me get you on the other side of it. Everything's pitching. Sorry for the tree. Everything's pitching correctly now. If you remember, that was pitching towards the house, pitching this way, quarter bubble, and this way, third bubble. And everything should work out. Got a nice legit step there. Not bad for one day's work. Rip out and replace. Catch you tomorrow.